Whoa! It's been a while since we've shown Leatherface. Or the household. Been a while. Leatherface has a hairnet, and it looks like he works at 6-gun territory. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's a horror story, all right. Nightmare. I'm just glad everyone's okay. He finally stopped. And thankfully, Bella, our wonderful, beautiful, little, adorable beagle, is safe and sound. She was not with us, thank God. Thank goodness. Hello, everyone. Thanks for clicking on the video. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm Tampa J. This is my fiance, Cris. Cris the girl on YouTube. If you're new here, we got to do the introductions. If you're not, welcome back. I wish we were talking about something more fun. Yeah. So where do we start? So if you saw the title, if you saw that, you probably already know what we're about to talk about. Unfortunately, that was like the worst Sunday I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Fortunately, as you can see, we are okay. And that is the most important thing ever that I could ever ask for. Because there was a moment on Sunday where we were in the worst position for us, that I never would imagine that we would have gone through that. I'm just so lucky that we're here, we're talking about this. This is one of the worst weeks. Now I've been through all kinds of stuff in my life. I've lost loved ones. So I just want to put that out there, that I understand that, other people may be going through something way worse, and my hat goes off to you guys, and I just want to say that this is our situation. This is what happened to us, because I know there's a lot of people out there that, thankfully, that have reached out to me just in concern, mostly my family. And I just want to update everyone, because I appreciate you guys. And I feel like it's important to tell this story of what happened, because it actually put our trip into a standstill. It's caused me a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety this past week, and I'm speaking for myself right now. Cris is going to talk about her situation, and it wasn't just my car either that day. It was your car too.
Yep. 2
different vehicles, just a total catastrophe. And is there anything you want to say before I get into what happened?
I don't think so. Just once again, we're going to probably be saying this like a broken record the entire time, but we're just so thankful that we're okay, and that we're alive and whatnot. And I know, the both of us, like, just every now and then, we're just like, wow, thank goodness we're alive. Like, we're here. We made it. So, kind of a new lease on life with that, but yeah.
And I'm so happy that we're here and we're working things out. We'll get to that. And I just want to say the scariest. I'll wait, and I'll come back to that when I get to it in the story. So it's Sunday morning. We're in Tennessee. The day before, we were hanging out, just enjoying the last day at the resort. We stayed at Camp Margaritaville for 2 nights. Mm-hmm. And we had been to Dollywood. And now I have to go back even further. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I got some terrible news that my mom had been in the hospital. I don't want to go too much into that, but it was very serious. And my mom is not doing well. So I immediately took off from my regular job, and this is the week prior. And I drove to Indiana to be with my mom. I don't know if you caught the McDonald's video, but I explained all that there. It's not in the title. It's not in the headline. So there, you don't know unless you clicked on the video. But thankfully, Mom's okay. But we had plans to go to Dollywood that weekend. You more so had plans to go up there and stay at a resort, and I was going to come up, actually originally fly to meet Cris on Thursday or Friday, and I wasn't even going to drive. That's the whole point. I wasn't even going to drive, and I actually booked a flight to fly into Knoxville, and the plan was you were going to pick me up at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And that was the whole plan. But so Mom, man, I love you, Mom. I'm glad you're okay. Something happened to Mom. I immediately work things out with work, and I take off more days than I originally planned to go to Tennessee. And so I drove all the way, a little over 1,100 miles, almost straight through. I got a hotel in just south of Corbin, Kentucky, birthplace of KFC. And then the next morning I woke up and I drove straight to Mom at the hospital. And I spent a couple days with her. And thankfully she was okay. She had the scariest scare of her life. Let's just put it that way. And my mom is my only parent now. And she means the world to me. And I'm just so glad you're okay, Mom. And so that's the reason why, I was driving, and why Cris was also driving and had her car in, you want to elaborate on that a little more?
In Tennessee.
In Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. Yeah, that's why we had two cars.
So I left earlier than anticipated to go see my mom. I was going to meet up with her, and which I did on that Friday in Tennessee. We went to Dollywood. We stayed at Camp Margaritaville Resort. I didn't film any of that. That's on Chris's video channel. Go check that out. That stay was amazing. It is absolutely my favorite stay that anywhere we've ever stayed. It's a great place.
The highlight of the trip.
It was.
It really was.
It was so chill, and it's a new resort. It's right outside of Gatlinburg, right on 441. They've got camp spots. They've got a resort. They got pool. They got water park. Check out that video. Great stay. It was really relaxing. We edited our vlogs on the balcony, looking at the hills, the mountains there in Tennessee. I'll put some pictures in if I find them. We took a lot of pictures. Also, watch your video. I think I said that 2 times already. I'll put it in the link below. But so that's why we were both driving. And now let's go to the morning of. We had checked out of Margaritaville Resort, and we had checked in the night before. This was on Saturday evening. We had got a hotel on the east side of Knoxville, off of 40. Yeah, off of 40. That makes sense. And we had got that hotel. We only had 2 nights stay at Camp Margaritaville. And that morning I had planned to go out and make a video. And we had gotten up pretty early because we needed to drive home later. And so it's Sunday morning. We get in the car.
Also, mind you, Tennessee and the whole entire country in general has had record storms.
Oh, that was the night before.
That entire night. Tornadoes everywhere, tons of rain, yep. All of that stuff. So it's the morning of Sunday, and we're still seeing some residuals of that bad weather.
Yeah. And when we were leaving the hotel, it was raining. And we were like rushing to get in the car to put our bags in because we had checked out. The plan was to come back and get Chris's car when we were done. And so we get in my car, we go down the exit. We go down towards the exit. We were right off the interstate and get on. And I mean, maybe 2-3 miles down the road. I don't even think we had passed an exit. So it's raining. I'm driving in the far left lane. In my car, my 2024 Subaru Crosstrek, which I had just bought last January of 2024. I just hit 50,000 miles on my trip. going up to Indiana. Actually, I was pulling in to my hometown, like hitting 50,000 miles, and that's how I remember that. And we were driving east on 40 or maybe west, and we were in the far left lane. It was raining. It wasn't like a hard rain. It was pretty good though. And I remember, the last thing I remember is we were kind of like going down an incline in the left-hand lane, and there was 3 lanes. And I remember coming down to a bottom of the hill, and I was going at below the speed limit a little bit. Wasn't going terribly fast. Going down the hill, and I just remember at the bottom when this happened, honestly, it felt like someone had picked up my car and just spun us. And what I did was I hydroplaned. I hit some water, and the next thing I know, we are turning like this, going in reverse across 3 lanes, some oncoming traffic. Thankfully, it wasn't too busy. I just remember freaking out, the car going like this. We're both freaking out, and just like, and then all of a sudden, I'm turning the wheel. I'm trying to get control of the wheel. It just felt like we were sliding on ice. If you've ever felt that, that's what it felt like. And the next thing I know, I'm going reverse, and I smack the guardrail on the shoulder on the far right-hand side of the road in reverse. And I've got my foot on the brake by this point, and I'm slowing down, scraping down the guardrail in reverse, and then finally come to a complete stop against the guardrail. I can't open the door. We are stuck right there, and we are just freaking out. I saw my life flash before my eyes. I saw Cris just in devastation. I just worried. This is what I wanted to come back to. I was just so worried about Cris. I didn't want her to be there in that moment, and I just didn't want you to be in there in that car with me. I wanted it just to be me. That's what I felt. I can't believe this was happening. And we were sitting there. I was checking myself. I was checking you, just to make sure we were okay. And thankfully, no one freaking hit us. That's a miracle. We didn't hit anyone. And we landed right there on the shoulder on Interstate 40. And that's what happened. Just a complete loss of control, hydroplane at the bottom of the hill. Now we'll go into more details as the day unfolds, but there's a lot more to hear to this story.
Unfortunately, it's not the first time that I've hydroplaned. I've only been, knock on wood, but one other accident in my entire life, car accident, and that was another hydroplane incident, and that was about 10 years ago. And that accident was actually way worse than what we just experienced, but just, again, those same feelings of, when you're actually in that moment. And I know, there's probably a bunch of people, unfortunately, out there who have also been in car accidents like this. So you probably understand, like, my initial thought is, we're dying. Yeah. We're going to die. This is it. Life is over, and we're going to die, and this is how we die, and this is my last moments on earth. I guess trigger warning here, but like that's literally what was going through my brain was, this is it. We are dying, and we're going to, I knew that we were on a hill, so I thought that we weren't going to slam into trees. Well, I think we would have slammed into trees, but we would have fallen down a cliff, like a hill. Like we were on a hill. So there wasn't just like kind of go into forest. It would have been down a hill. And that's what I was really like kind of bracing for, was falling. And thank God that didn't happen. The guardrail saved us.
We caught the guardrail, and I just remember in that moment, as I'm losing control too, I just remember someone, or maybe it was like in driver's ed, like all those years ago, about not overcorrecting the wheel because we could flip. And so I I turned the wheel and I jerked it so that we would go in that 180 movement and we could guide the rail. And I mean, but I didn't really have control. Like that car did what it wanted to do, but my mind, I was trying. I knew if I could get to the rail and ride the rail would stop us. Now, if we would have flipped or someone would have hit us, that game over. There was an in-bank of trees. Thankfully, where we were stopped on the interstate, it was like 2 shoulders. It was very far from the traffic. And at that time, shortly after we were there, I didn't realize it until later. It had stopped raining.
Yep.
It had stopped raining.
Yeah, literally like maybe, when we got out of the car, it wasn't raining.
Yeah. It was hard to prove that it was even raining.
Yeah.
To be honest, by the time the first responders got there. When we came to a stop, there was a gentleman, a good Samaritan, that stopped to check on us. And a really nice guy. And he just wanted it. Are you guys okay? Do you need medical attention? And I believe his name was Mike. I didn't get all of his information, but he stayed with us for quite some time, made sure that we had help and help was on the way. So thanks for him, because he really calmed us down. And we were talking and for a little bit. So back to, we're sitting there, and my car, my Subaru Crosstrek, it has a lot of safety features. And the car called 911 right away. So without even me, doing anything, emergency services had been notified and they were already on their way. And the first to get there, besides that kind gentleman, he said he was going to Naples, Florida. And he also said he had 2 Subarus, and he said that they were good cars, and that that I think his daughter had been in a wreck in one, and it had saved her life. So that was just what we were talking about there in the moment. So the first responder to get there was like a road ranger. And he advised me to go ahead and call my insurance or to have it towed, because as soon as the authorities got there, like the police, the state trooper, they were going to advise me to have it towed. So I had already called my insurance before the fire truck showed up. Again, we were okay, not a scratch. And so we denied, medical attention. We did not need it. And then the police officer came up and he talked to us, made sure we were okay. They all came, I didn't realize it, they all came separately, and they were all gone before any of them got there. I talked to the fire captain. He said, made sure we were okay. And then the police officer came and he made an incident report. And by that time, I had called the tow truck, and they had already been on their way. And there was a little confusion on where we were. I had to keep calling them back just to make sure they knew where we were. But that wasn't a big issue. Just those moments there, sitting on the interstate, what we had gone through, I just couldn't wait to get out of there. And, my car, there's a picture in the thumbnail. I'll put pictures of it. In that moment, I was like, holy crap. But a car is replaceable. And I knew right away that because of my previous experiences in wrecks, and I just knew right away that would work itself out. The most important thing was that we were okay. Things are replaceable. We're not. And this woman right here is not replaceable to me. And I'm glad you're okay. And I was glad we were okay in that moment. And I just felt bad that she had to go through that we had to go through that. But thankfully we were okay. I'm waiting to hear back. I think the car is going to be totaled. My insurance adjuster, I use Progressive. I put all the paperwork. It looks like it's going to be totaled. From what I know about cars, I saw over $10,000 worth of damage. The airbags did not deploy because Subaru has a safety feature. It knows what type of accident we were in, and it knew not to deploy the airbags because that would have actually hurt us in that type of situation. I love that car, and thankfully I purchased the Gap insurance for anything like this to ever happen. I also have Gap insurance through Progressive, so I am totally covered. And I also have warranties and all that, so hopefully that will work itself out, and I'll be going to get a new car very soon. And sure enough, I believe I'm going to buy the same car, because that is the best car I've ever owned, the safest car I've ever owned. And I'm not a spokesman for Subaru, but I have shared my oil changes, all of that. It is a part of the channel. It's taken me a lot of places. I just hit 50,000 miles worth of videos, and yeah, so I'm just waiting to hear back from my insurance to see what to do about getting a new car. And let's go back to the story. So the tow truck gets there. It was just kind of a little fun. It wasn't funny at the time, but later it was a haha moment. It was named after a country singer from the area. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dolly's Towing. They got us back to the hotel. Transferred all my bags into Chris's car, and of course we decided just to head home after that. Yeah, we weren't even going to try to make a day of it. We were just in shock, and just still, I still can't believe what we went through. And in those moments, it was just, I couldn't wait to get off the side of the interstate, because I'd seen those horrible, horror stories, heard about what happens on the side of the interstate, just waiting. And I felt so much relief just getting back to the hotel, to Chris's car. And so we get back to Chris's car. I mean, it wasn't even 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, when it was all said and done, we're talking maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, it felt like 10.
Yeah, it felt obviously like all day. But at that point, our ETA to get back home was about like 9:30 or something like that. So it was. I remember. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, so you're driving. We're in your Kia Soul.
Yeah, and I'll say too that like nothing makes you get over a possible phobia of driving ever again, like having to get right back in your car and drive 10 hours to get back home. We had no choice. Yeah. But I think in that instance it was the best kind of possible scenario, because this is the type of thing that can manifest into a bigger problem. Yeah. Me personally, I go to therapy. I actually just talked to my therapist about this at our last session, and something hugely traumatic like that can easily turn into a phobia. It can turn into agoraphobia, where it's like, maybe I really don't want to ever get in my car again. Yeah. I can have my groceries delivered to me. I can, have this movie rented to me at my home. Like this, that, and the other thing. And honestly, I'm the kind of person who can absolutely go down that road, pun intended. So, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there that, like, for me, I don't want it to go down that way. I know, like, you've been through some accidents.
I forgot to talk about that. Yeah,
and like you don't have that much of an issue with it. I
drove as a kid, as a teenager, young adult in Tampa, and I've got some stories. But it can be very easily to develop a trauma. It's trauma. It's a fear. In those situations, when I was a kid, they thought I was going to be scared of dogs, because when I was 3 years old, I was attacked by a dog. Actually, I have scars on my face. If you ever wondered what those are, is I was attacked by a dog, and I almost really close to losing my eye, and I had to get shots. His name was Thor. He was a friend of a family's dog in Colorado. Long story short, but always as a kid, for some reason, I knew it was okay, and I still love dogs. I have one right there. Not as ferocious. She's over there taking a nap, but yeah, that's a good point. And thankfully, you were okay to drive. Honestly, I didn't even ask to drive. I didn't think about it. I don't know if I was okay to drive in that moment. I'm just glad that we were okay. I've been T-boned. I've been rear-ended twice. I've been sideswiped. all in Tampa growing up. Same car, really. I had a 2004 Scion XB, and my mom said it was cursed. It had been through the body shop 3 times because of accidents. None my fault, by the way. None of them my fault. And the last time it was in the body shop, it got stolen out of the body shop by someone that was sleeping on the couch inside the body shop office, which was a homeless person. And they had, the person that was in charge had allowed this person to sleep in there. They were trying to do a good deed. But this person got inebriated, and out of all the cars in the body shop, wanted to drive the square car because it looked cool. And long story short, crashed my car into a bank. That was a long night. And I got it fixed after that. And then I went on a cruise in Miami. And while I was out on the cruise, one of the parking attendants rear-ended my car in the parking lot. So I drove it back from Tampa, and I just got a new car. So that's just a long story short, with the mini car wrecks that I've had before. Some fender benders, but nothing too crazy. This was the most crazy thing that ever happened to me. Again, because all those, I was either not in the car or I was by myself. This is the first time I've been in an accident with someone with me, and someone I love so much. Actually, my best friend in the world right here. So that was really traumatic for me, and I knew it was for her. So it just sucked. So now let's get back to the story. Yeah. We're in your car. We're leaving. We're passing the same spot because we had to go right by it that I had just crashed, and I looked away. And if you want to know where that spot was, it's near Knoxville on 40. It's kind of like the Farragut area. Yeah. That area right there. I think it was westbound. About when you hook back up with 75. That's where it was. All right, so back to the story. We are traveling in your car, and we're getting close. I remember it specifically. We were down 75 south. We're heading towards Chattanooga. We were also in the left-hand lane.
Yeah, we were.
At that time, it was a 2-lane road on 75 south. I've driven that my whole life. I know 75 really well. And we hear your car. Actually, you heard it. You want to explain what happened?
Well, it kind of sounded like we just got a flat tire or something. Like the car went pop, 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 pop. Like made that kind of sound. Pretty decently loud. And
there was a decrease in acceleration, so we say immediately, all right, we're in the left lane. Thankfully, we got it. I said, let's get over, pull over. And we get over, and here we are on the shoulder again.
Yep, on the side of the road. So turn the car off, and
I get out. I look at the tires. They're fine. And I ask Cris to pop the hood. I open the hood. I look around. And then I see her, I think it's second or third cylinder, the third hole from the left. The spark plug wire is just like loose. And I'm like, oh crap. It's missing out. The cylinder's not firing. Something's wrong with the spark plug. So what I do is I take the spark plug wire and I hook it back up. Right down there, I put the boot down in the thing, and it seems like it's okay. I'm like, okay, maybe the boot just came off. Well, I go back around the car and I say, hey, Cris, fire it back up. When she fires it up, it immediately, pow! Thank God I wasn't standing over the engine block.
You would have died. That would have killed him.
Her,
100%.
Right on top of the head, right on top of the block, is where I easily could see it right there. And so basically what happened is the spark plug, when she fired it back up, somehow I had knocked it probably more on contact, that it shot it out like a bullet. Mm-hmm. And it hit the top of her hood. And there in that moment, man, I was like, I can't believe this has happened.
Yeah, wild. Can't make it up.
I knew we couldn't move your car unless we knew exactly what was going on down in that cylinder. I just knew that we needed to tow it to a shop because we could damage your car if we tried to drive it. And that's where we were, on the side of the road.
Yep. Again.
Same day.
Not even like an hour apart.
I'm showing pictures if I've got it. I think I took a couple.
Yeah.
Took a lot for just insurance purposes.
The spark plug almost
my car.
went through my hood.
Yeah, it was
like it was that.
It would have killed someone.
Yeah,
I still didn't find it.
Yeah,
it's on the side of the road somewhere.
But I drive a 2011 Kia Soul, by the way.
I just hit 187,000.
Yeah, so
it's a good car. It runs strong. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have to get help, and then you start calling your insurance to see. You have tow truck, all that.
Yeah, which I don't, by the way, which is really stupid, but here we are.
Well, not a lot of people do, and I want to encourage you to pay that extra $10 a month to get tow truck for roadside service and accidents, because a lot of roadside services don't cover accidents, and I think AAA will do everything. So,
and I would encourage potentially to look into AAA. I know that's what I'm going to do, because I am completely inept when it comes to these sort of things. I mean, in this instance, thank goodness Jay was there, and especially in the car with me, but at least he was around, because there was a period of time there where we weren't sure if Jay was going to be on this trip with me
at all.
We really didn't know.
Nope.
So if I was by myself completely alone, I would have been absolutely lost, because I don't know anything about cars. I don't know what I'm looking at, what I'm doing, nothing. So I really am gonna invest in AAA personally, because I would have been.
I might get it too, just to have extra coverage. You never know. Like right now my insurance is probably gonna go up, and maybe I need something like that. But like 3 days before, you were driving through the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, that could have happened at any point.
No service.
In my time. What if that happened at the top of the Smoky Mountains with absolutely no service? And it's not that busy up there this time of the year either. There wasn't that much car traffic or whatever. I
nowhere to pull
would have been so completely screwed so many times. If I was by myself in that car, absolutely would have been screwed. So it was a bad situation, but it 1,000 times could have been worse. So there's that.
Yeah, and I was supposed to be driving home that day. We put all that together later as we were just sitting there trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. So I found a local tow truck. At that point, it was Sunday. So all the shops that were up on the next exit, which was Athens, Tennessee, were closed. It's Sunday. The only thing that was open that was related to cars was a Walmart tire center, which I know they're only going to fix your tires, and they're going to be super busy because they're the only thing open. And so I just start thinking, oh wow, we're going to have to spend the night. We're going to have to get a hotel. Yep. I might have to get a rental car. We might have to just drive back. We're supposed to be back at work the next day. So we're just in crunch time, and it's, just noon basically. Yeah. And so we get a hold of the tow truck, and at that time you found a Firestone that was open 35 miles back in Knoxville. And so without even calling the Firestone, we just immediately got the truck coming. Hey, I talked to the guy on the phone. He said, yeah, sure, where you want to go? And he gave me a price, and I said, let's go here. And he said, cool, I'm on my way. 24/7 roadside trucking towing company. It was great. There were several of them available. It was highly rated. We just looked really quick. And so then I call Firestone in Knoxville, and I get a hold of him. I say, hey, this is the situation. This is what's going on. And the guy's like, dude, like I don't want to turn away business, but in your situation, he's like, dude, I am so backed up, I won't be able to look at it Tuesday or Wednesday, he said. And he said, what you want to do is call the one down south near Chattanooga and see if they can take you. And so I immediately say, thank you. Hey, that's great. I find the number for that one, and I get someone on the phone quickly. Now this is, I find out later, this is 49 miles south of where we're broke down. So right down 75. I start talking to the manager there, and he's like, oh, I don't know if we'll get it in. We close at 5. And I say, hey, this is what's going on. The spark plug's missing. It's shot out. And I'm hoping, if we could just replace the spark plug in the boot, if there's no damage, it'll be okay. And he's like, you know what? He's like, this is very interesting. He's like, I'll take a look at it myself. So boom, They're going to look at it in Chattanooga. I got to call back the tow truck driver to say, hey, man, I know I told you we're going to Knoxville, but is it okay if we go to Chattanooga? He said, no problem. I called him up, no problem. It's just a little more money to tow that far because they tow you by the mile.
Oh, well. Listen, we are very, very, very lucky in so many ways, clearly.
We had room on the credit card.
Thank goodness we were able to have the funds to do this, or we would probably still be in Tennessee. But even still, what are we going to do? Are you going to spend the extra money on a hotel to stay the night to see if any of the mom and pop shops can take your car the next day? Or like what? Like we really did not have that many options. Like no matter what, we are spending some coinage that day, and we're talking hundreds of dollars.
We found 2 places open within 100 square miles that would look at our car, and only one of them could.
And
like
so
that.
At the end of the day, we decided it would probably, hopefully, be more cost effective if we just got it.
Yeah.
Tried to figure it out right away. Pay for the tow truck, pay for the services or whatever, and then get home, as opposed to, all right, let's find a hotel. Let's, prolong this whole thing. Now we're missing work and all of this stuff. So that was the dilemma that was going on with us in that
And then
moment.
also it's like, wow, I'm just glad. I don't care. Like, I'm just glad we're safe. You know, I want us to be home.
Just want to go home.
Want to go home.
Yeah.
I think it was like courtesy towing. It was a dude that came with a tow truck, hooked it up. He had an awesome dog.
Yeah, Duke.
He was gigantic.
More of a horse than a dog.
He was a greyhound and
Great Dane.
Great Dane, big dog. And I think I took a picture of it because he put his paw.
Yeah, and the tow truck guy was like, he never puts his paw on anybody. That's rare. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, he knows the day that I've been having. He's like, this lady needs some comfort right now. So that was very sweet dog. That was the best part of it.
Yeah, and he was really nice. Yeah. And he got us to where we needed to go. They're in the north side of Chattanooga, right off 75. Can't think of the name of the area. There's a mall there.
A lot of shops.
Something Hill.
They got Home Goods. They got World Market. I'm just saying, good spot for Halloween shopping. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, we were waiting. Well, we get there and immediately they start looking at it, and they just did a wonderful job because it was all that it really needed was the spark plug to go back in there. And so what we did was we just had them all replaced. It looked like one of the plugs was faulty and it just popped out of there. So we got the OEM plugs. They were able to, I used to work with Napa Auto Parts. Basically what happened was the thread was messed up and they had to get a tap and die set to set the plug back into the head. And thankfully there was an hour there where we didn't know. We were just kind of like hoping, and then they came out and said we can fix it. And we were out of there at 5 o'clock when they closed.
Yeah.
And we were heading south back to Florida.
So all said and done, the whole thing took about 5 hours.
That was the worst 5 hours ever.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah.
Of my life. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what happened. And then we ended up we could have made it home and had a late night.
Would have been about 2:30 in the morning at that point.
Chris's parents were here. They were watching Bella. Daisy was over. And we decided to get a hotel about 5 hours away in Georgia, and I contacted my boss, you contacted your boss with our regular jobs, and we said, hey, this is what happened, and thankfully they understood why we took another day off, and we actually rolled in here at home, pretty peacefully, as calm as we could.
Yep.
That extra day.
Yep.
And that's the story. Wow, we've been talking a long time.
Yeah. It's a long story.
And I just wanted to keep you guys all updated and let you know what happened. And if you see a different car in the video, that's what happened. But thankfully, we were okay. And nothing bad happened to Cris, happened to me. Everything that day, happened for a reason, and we were supposed to come out okay and learn something from it. And I learned a lot of things that day. I learned so much, and I am so grateful for this life that we have. I'm so grateful for Cris, for her parents, for my mom, for my family, for you guys. And I just want you to always know that no matter who you are, what you're going through, that there's always much ahead. And that's the definition of it right there. You know, just put one foot in front of the other and keep on going, because life is hell and it's going to throw you curveballs, and much one's worse than our story today. We all have stories to tell, many way worse than this one, but this was ours. And that's what happened to us on Sunday in Tennessee. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, sticking with me. I'm going to be up to more normal content, I promise. Tomorrow, the weekend, we got plans. This is, as I've stated, there has never been this much ahead. 2025, so much to come. Would you like to say anything?
Drive safe, everybody.
Yeah.
Not saying that we weren't driving safe. Sometimes these things happen, clearly, but nonetheless, you know, be vigilant, be ready for these sort of things. I'm not trying to, you know, scare anybody or whatever, but it's just simply the truth of it all. Like, just be aware of those things. You know, when it's raining outside, maybe drive a little bit slower, or just wait till the rain to stop, or, you know, whatever it is. If there's something going on with your car, you know, need the brakes replaced or something like that, don't wait on those things. Like, if you can, you know, if you can afford it and stuff. I understand situations are what they are, but, you know, if you can afford it, don't wait on that stuff. Like, get it done now, because that's your safety and that's other people's safety on the road to consider. So I want to throw that one out there. And also, you know, again, life is short. Life is short, and you just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, what the next 5 minutes is going to bring. Again, I don't want to, like, panic anybody or whatever like that. That's not the message that I want to put out there. But I'll tell you what, I did not think waking up that morning, that was what my day was going to be. No idea. And I think that's, I mean, who does really? But that's just one of the shocking things about it, is just like, I remember thinking that in the moment when it was happening, was like, I can't believe this is happening to us right now. Like, I can't believe that this is now going to be our day, is dealing with this. And, you know, these things happen. It's inevitable. Bad stuff is going to happen, but it's like you said, you know, things happen for a reason. Everything in this life happens for a reason. Whether it's something that we're supposed to learn, or it opens up, you know, new doors to go down different paths, or whatever it is, there is always a reason for those things happening. It's not just about looking on the bright side of life, but it's just literally like, these things are supposed to happen. So we've definitely gleaned a lot of things from it personally. And yeah, I think one of the major takeaways, and the last thing that I'll just say is, life is short. So whatever things that you want to do in this life, you know,
do it. That
dream career, that dream home, you know, moving somewhere else, telling the person that you love them, do that thing. Do the things, because time is so short, and we gotta make use of that time the best way that we possibly can. And I guarantee you that anything that you want to do in this lifetime, you can absolutely do it. You can do it. You just have to go do it.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful set.
Yeah, you can do it, and the time is now.
The time is now, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe. Safety is a priority. Yeah. All right, I think we're going to end this. This is a good spot. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you check out Cris the Girl on YouTube again. Check out her videos, her channel. Put a link in the description below. And this video is over. I'll say it one more time. Know you're awesome, know you're loved, and no matter who you are, what you're going through, just know that there is always what you had. Right, Bella? Yes. She's so comfy.
Yeah.
She went to the puppy spa today. She got a bath. She got her nails did. She got her teeth. Oh. You ready for a walkie poo?
You ready for a walk?
All right, guys. See you later. Bye-bye. Love you. Glad we're okay. Glad we're okay. Yes. I know. I said bye-bye. Let's go outside.